This is how you make vegetable soup. You're going to start with a big pot because I love to make a lot of it. Next, take your carrots and you're going to chop them into bite-sized pieces. I've already had these scraped. Then, once you cut them into bite-sized pieces, since they've already been skinned, you just have to throw them in the pot to let them cook. Next, I always add any leftover peppers I might have in my fridge. Adds a little bit of texture and I love the taste, especially with onions and celery, which are already in the pot. This will be good, trust me. Now I have red and orange and yellow. I'm just cutting out the little inner meat, as they call it, inside the pepper. I don't want that in there. But everything else is going to be good. Trust me on this. I make this all the time. So we just chop everything up in about bite-sized pieces. Next, I had some zucchini and some squash. Now this, love. This also gives it a great taste. But also you have to know that this is something that if you have something that's a little bit on the turn of that it's going to not be good the next day, go on and chop it up. Anything that's in your refrigerator that's considered a vegetable, put it in. It'll all be good. Next, you're going to use your squash. Again, I just cut off the ends, make sure I wash them really well. All your vegetables need to be washed, and I don't take the skin off. That's where your good vitamin is, so you want to leave those on as well. So just cut them all up in bite-sized pieces, as you did with the other ones, and you stick them in the pot and let them cook. Next, I had some Yukon Gold potatoes. I took these, and as you see right here, I'm just cutting out an eye. My mom always taught me, just cut it out, get rid of it, and just use the rest of the potato. So this is what I'm doing, just cutting these up in bite-sized pieces. This also is just going to go into the pot. I do not skin these either. I leave the peel on because to me that's where all your nutrients are, and it makes it that much better. So just cut them up, bite-sized pieces again, about 1 inch to 1 inch. Sometimes some are bigger, sometimes some are smaller. It's not here, it's not rocket science, and it's not something that you have to be perfect on.
Just need to wash your potatoes and cut them up. Put the skins on because the skins are all the vitamins and so forth.
Now once we've put everything in the pot, we're going to continue to stir, and the next thing I love to do, and I always try to put this in my vegetable soup, is cabbage. I love the taste of cabbage in my vegetable soup. What I do is I cut off what they're called cabbage steaks off the end of the cabbage, and I just cut them down center, about maybe a half of an inch to less, little strips. I cut it all the way down, all the way across. And then what I do is I kind of turn the whole head, and I turn it around the other way, and I crisscross it. So I make small little bite-sized pieces of the cabbage to put in there, because nothing is worse than having a long string of cabbage and not being able to put it on your spoon. So I make everything bite-sized. This I do a little bit smaller, but I still put as much in there as I think I can handle in there. Bite-sized pieces.
You have to make bite-sized pieces. That big with the cabbage.
Please forgive the way I look. It was a cold, cold day here in Kentucky after we'd been having 60 and 70 degree weather, so man, I just look horrible. But hey, it was a nice day to make vegetable soup. Now doesn't this look good? One thing I do is I try to use a lot of the broth. I do buy broth, I put it in, and I like to cook everything in it. I forgot to use my raw garlic, so I'm just going to put a good heaping teaspoon of garlic that I have in the can. And I'm just going to mix it in and let it kind of just smolder here with the vegetables and the broth. Next, this is called a veggie concentrate, and I love it. I have it in chicken, I have it in beef, and I have it in the vegetable. And it's real concentrated broth. What I do is I put some in and just kind of move it around. It gives it another layer of flavor, and I love it. But like I said, I have vegetable, I have beef, and I have chicken. Love it. One thing I also do is I do not like to put water in my soup. Now that sounds odd, but I do use cans, but what I do is I make sure that I have diced tomatoes, peas, corn, but one thing I love to use, and most people don't, is I use tomato sauce. I don't use tomato puree, I use tomato sauce. To me, it gives it a better flavor, and I like it that much more. So once I get all this together, and I put all this in, and make sure it's kind of mixed together and really good. And all these have kind of meshed, and they're kind of almost cooked to where they're almost done. And then we'll take all of the other vegetables that were in the cans, and I dump them in a colander. And I will simply dump everything on top, one on top of the other, the corn, the green beans, the peas, and then I rinse them. This is just to get some of that salt and some of the ingredients that they've been sitting in the can. I just rinse them off. Something I've always done is something I like to do. I don't like to take what they were canned in, put it in my soup. So once I know that they've drained off, I've rinsed them off, they look good, I'm going to dump this into my pot. So once this is in my pot, I pretty much am done. I just have a couple more things I need to do. Now, one of the things that I love seasoning anything with I cook that's savory is I love to use black pepper. Now, my chili, I like to use white pepper, but for this, I'm going to use a black pepper. And what I'll do is I will put it in here really well, just kind of douse it in here as much as I like. This is a big pot, so I'll probably do quite a bit of pepper. Once I get the pepper in, I then will do my next secret ingredient, as you like to say. This is turmeric. Now this is organic. This is something that I found on sale. Doesn't mean that I always buy organic turmeric, but it was something I found. I love turmeric. If you want turmeric and the benefits of turmeric, which helps with anti-inflammatory, your aches, your joints, it makes you feel better, you have to put the pepper in first, and then you're going to put your turmeric on top. I cook with it almost everything. Eggs, baking, cooking, anything. I don't make anything sweet with it, but everything else I do. Next, what I've done is I've got half a chicken. I baked it. I put this all-purpose Greek seasoning on it, stuck it on parchment paper, stuck it in the oven, let it cook for like an hour on 350, and now I'm going to let it cool before I put all this chicken into my pot. Now you can see everything's together, everything's cooking. I'm going to let the vegetables get done and cook really well, and now it's kind of just simmering. All the flavors are getting together, and I'm going to let the chicken finish draining and cooling before I add it. So the last thing for me to do is simply to find my top, put it on low, and let it simmer. And voila, you have it. You have vegetable soup.